Hey everybody, and welcome back to Age of Bison. We've got a pretty exciting game here that I've heard of. Lots of interesting strategies are supposed to be coming out, and if you've watched any of our series with Gideon and Vidya, you know that these guys' whole, um, you could say, style is often thinking, new novel ways to use units and establish strategies and spin them on their heads. So this should be a pretty interesting matchup. I'm joined today by Stefan. How's it going?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so this is also a little bit of background. Gideon in the last when he did his 1v1 tournament, a lot of his games out of synced, and so far throughout this tournament, many of their games have also out of synced. So this is kind of a rare glimpse I'm heard into really some of the intelligent ways that these two can play. So hopefully we get quite the series. And I think with that, I am going to start the timer. Stefan, looking at this map, looking at these civs, anything kind of come to mind which you think might be potential strategies or combos?
So this is Nile Valley, which has come up a couple times in the Age of Bison's cast for this tourney, and people have been watching it know this is an extremely aggressive map. Like it looks like, hey, it's defensive, it's got choke points, all the resources are off your plateau. So if you can get your opponent bottled in, that's the way to win this. So realistically, I'm expecting to see age two play out of this. So we're not likely to see, a age three Culpepper pop out of Gideon for USA. We're likely going to see, some pretty mouth smashing age two play, I think, here.
Exactly, like you've said, I mean, the plateaus, they are pretty weak on the resources, not to mention these birds hurting them is a nightmare. Vividly,
Of
if you're
course, the
watching this,
ostriches.
this is your excellent way, I think, to bring a bit of rating back into the game, right? While still allowing more resources to be on the map compared to RE. So, you know, very kind of short, typically, games come out on this map that end up being basically, who takes the initiative and who holds either the center area here or, is able to get all their resources. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, natives right off the bat coming in from Gideon, playing as the United States.
Natives.
Yeah,
So, okay, he's gone for Chinese immigrants. Interesting. No,
Muscovy
he hasn't.
coal. Well, he does have native treaties, which, a quick sidebar conversation. Oh, really? Such in your base killing your dudes. A little bit of good old fashioned trash talk going back and forth there, right? Again, we haven't introduced Nick and Sanders yet, but both of these well known members of our server, Nick, very strong player, known for especially his skill with adapting civs to metas. Colonel Sanders, often known for his more laid back style, but this is somebody that is very comfortable into the late game. And if he can get his feet set, Sanders can punch well above his weight. So, this is a dangerous combination. Nvidia and Gideon, if they have a weakness, even though they're the stronger players on paper, is that sometimes they can be almost too clever for their own good. So, this is
Mhm.
definitely likely to be a competitive match. I think with that, though, looking back at the deck, real fast, like I said, native treaties. United States gets a special one where their internal natives count. I don't know why that is. I don't know why every other civ has to be nerfed, but this isn't Platypus's balance issues complaint, right? And it's not necessarily OP. It's just kind of weird. So looking at Sweden, spice trade. I kind of like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, standard deck,
Land standard, yeah. Okay.
except for I'd say maybe the Royal Horsemen or Eight Pikes. Age two,
Yeah.
fast fortress
And
push.
yeah, fast fortress. Camp builder. 8 Portuguese cannoneers. Interesting that he's got the um, Stone Churches card in there. I don't know what the name of the card is. There you go, Rock Church.
So interesting. Mountain Monastery and Aben, more yield. I guess if you get crowd in your base, that could be nice. But if you've got Talbot, typically you can just build him forever. But again, I'm not an Ethiopian main, but I see most of the important cards here, especially in team game situations. Maybe not this one in a 2v2, but otherwise, unit shipments.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Ethiopia's a very undiscovered civ. And let's look at Vindion's deck. Kind of a classic Vindion Japan deck.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Don't usually see this one, but it's fun when it comes, right? Yep, and this is like a Vindian signature, I would say, is adding the team natives and a bunch of Sohai allies. So Vindian likes to go to H4. Vindian likes things that Shadow Tech. He is a hater of all upgrades, and very good at using timings, right? He's a very skilled player at hitting specific timings. So I think with that, looking at the wonders, Japan aging up with the Teshugu.
Very much gone for greed there.
Mm-hmm.
And in outpost, so he went up with which one?
The governor. So coin and a tower. He's placing it defensively though, so that's telling me that Ethiopia is going to want to play defensively. You know, he got a Rax instantly too. I assume that's from the team card of Ethiopia. Really good card there. Gideon, yep, Tammany Festival. So he is going natives ish. Yep.
Okay.
And he's got the second TP. So
Berbers, Sudanese, and then and then he's going to ally for the Cree, so that gives him 3.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because it was 2 OP for every other civ but the United States. And really, I think, you know, before I'll shut up about it, they should just rename the damn card for Mexico and United States, because it is kind of strange that 2 civs get the exact same card at the same age, but it works a bit differently.
Yeah, I'm in an agreement there. Like, give it a different name. Just even if you're not going to change the mechanic, just change the name so it has a distinction.
But you know what? I mean, thinking about this, I mean, look, Gideon, he's going to have Cree Corps de Bois. He's going to have Berber villagers. You know, we might see one heck of a United States boom come out of this.
Yeah, this could actually be a crazy boom, because you get 5 Berber nomads out of that. You get 5 Cree CDB. I mean, you can get a really strong kickoff there.
Exactly. It looks like Japan here, not kind of slow to shrine boom. Only 60 pop compared to Sweden now being at, what was that, 130? I mean, and he's
wow, yeah. Nick is going off. He's dropping these like there's no tomorrow. Yeah.
And I must say, pretty impressed. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, and that Explorer is going to do nothing. Fun fact, too, even if Vindian wants to, lay down a shrine, the villagers now get extra siege damage against, resource enclosures, which does include shrines. Ooh. Indian going outlaws.
Okay, interesting.
Of course.
Do we have any military out for the Team Fried Chicken here? We do. Got 8.
8 Caroleans, and so Ethiopia, I know his deck said FF, of course, caster privilege, right? We can see he's now aging up with the Jesuits, so perhaps he's going for a cannoneer push, which might synchronize with the Carolean mass. But yeah, these Corsair marksmen, kind of an underutilized unit. They're, I don't know, it's interesting. People are kind of split on them. I would say a age to skirmisher with these type of stats, basically a Cassador, pretty good. But for their pop cost, they're very pop inefficient. So they tend to be good in the early game, and they fall off as other skirmishers. Just simply, you don't need to build as much housing space. And Gideon.
Yeah, and it has a good synergy inherently with Japan, because you should be going for the pop. So you're less concerned about eating pop space at that point.
Exactly. It looks like Gideon has sent the Ultra Native Treaties card. So again, quite the mix of units there.
That's a fairly sizable mass.
It is, and I think.
And given the fact that we're looking at a lot of skirm types, this is not a great fight that we're looking at here.
I think so.
Good work on keeping those Caroleans back there.
Yeah, I think Nick's just trying to, get Swedish economy, especially. Yeah, if Swedish eco takes off, I don't think there's a stronger boom in the entire game at this time. So all he has to do is keep him off his torps, keep him, stop people from basically burning all this stuff. Looks like one torp will go down.
Not a lot of siege in that combination there, though.
Yeah.
So it'll take them a while.
Yeah, look at that. And Yeah, Colonel Sanders now hitting age 3, putting down the church from the Jesuit age up. And let's see. Looks like he's going to ship Gindion. He's going to ship the big boy. And yeah, that would
Big
absolutely.
boy, and he's jumping out in F10. Yeah, that's all really good choices here.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, he'll lose some torps, but ooh, good catch there. Of course, these things are goons, so the they're light cavalry. So that means that the Crolians do not counter them at range, right? That would have been a wipe if they were heavy cav. I mean, these things are amazing. I think Berbers are probably one of the best native units in the game.
Yes. Particularly after the recent buff where they lowered the cost of the Berber Nomad.
Yeah. But, looking at this, though, I mean, again, Sweden's got quite the mass of Crolians. They can play H2 a long time. I think he is concerned about the shrine situation, right? Because if you look at it now, Vindion's almost got full shrines himself. And again, Japan, the shrines don't gather at the same rates the Torp do, but they go forever, right? And so it's quite the kind of trade-off. And in the long term, Japan's economy typically will outscale or keep pace at least with Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look at that. It's incredible efficiency there. Putting a fort. Don't know how I feel about that fort. Sanders, if you're watching this, you probably could have. Hindsight's 20/20 though. We've got caster privilege, right? But we can see everything. But typically with a fort, especially on a map like this, first 2 people in H2, you can just place it here and just completely cut them off of a quadrant, or even up here.
Yeah, I would have dropped that right next to the TP site. I block off the choke point there, get good coverage of these resources. But yeah, hindsight, caster privileges, it's not like you have this win game.
Exactly, and yeah, just like that. I mean, they're burning down now a lot of torps basically for free, and looking at the composition here, I mean, those Neftenias though, they will go toe to toe with, I think, any skirm in the game. I mean, just way more HP, even more base damage. Kind of a small army though there from Colonel Sanders, so hopefully he's able to kind of boom a bit. He is getting more cattle, so that'll help with the influence trickle. Ethiopia, not as influenced centric as like Hausa, for example, but they definitely can do bursts of it. Ooh, here they come, the Seminole Scouts.
Oh yeah, more Seminoles. Okay. These shrines are going to go down very quickly.
Yep. And I would imagine, knowing Gindion, he's getting ready to age up if he hasn't. Oh, wow. As soon as I say that, yeah, it looks like he is just macroing really hard. These guys are more than content to sit age 2. Yeah, puts a few down there, not bad. Sorry for missing the big fight. Yeah, we got a big fight here. Wow.
Gindion is not able to get those camel riders on the big boy. So this fight is not looking particularly great for Team Gindion right now. But if he can get those camel riders on the big boy, then things are going to change.
And the other thing to think about too is, because they are goons, and they only have melee armor, those Nefteni are going to nuke them from range. Because again, light infantry do more damage, of course, to goon types. I mean, they're like a hand goon. Wow, look at that score. This is looking actually really strong here. Again, Colonel Sanders, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Once he gets his feet kind of landed, he can do pretty well. And Nick, I mean, he did take a hit on the torps, which is rough. I mean, he lost a lot of eco, but he can always retorp.
He can retorp, and, he was going for the cheeky torps down on the other side.
Yep, spreading them out.
Spreading them out. Yeah, and they've actually effectively pushed back, and they've got basic control of most of their map. I'd like to see them start burning down torps up north there.
For shrines?
Yeah, shrines, I should say. Good.
It looks like Nick is alerting. He's probably trying to tell him, hey, build some trading posts, because again, that can help with Ethiopia's otherwise lackluster generation of influence. And it looks like they are headed back. Ooh, but his vills are going to be caught.
Ooh, no. Oof.
Again, goons are... These guys have a pretty gnarly hand attack. So they will take him back. I mean, these units, man, they're so good. And Gideon is using them to maximum effect. Very practiced. And again, showing his kind of understanding of a civ. Yep. 2 different fronts. Looks like Japan moving down here. Nothing but Corsairs. Nick does alert, so he sees it. Gets his Vils out there.
Yeah.
Might lose some Caroleans, though.
No, he gets them out.
Good job. And yeah, in the north, they are now on shrine burning duty. So
Yeah.
I'd say overall, I mean, this is still an extremely competitive. I mean, the scores are basically neck and neck.
Yeah, this is a fully competitive game right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at this too. Yep, now it's like a game of whack-a-mole almost, right? It's like who can take down the other guys, like House Eco first, right? Nick getting all the upgrades now too for his villagers, so that Swedish economy is just going to be just swinging. Colonel Sanders, he's got a lot of coin that he's macroing. Maybe he's going for mercs. Looks like he's going to get trade builders. Not a bad card at all. Japan aging up. Let's see what wonder they're going for. The Great Buddha. Interesting.
Ooh, interesting choice.
Indian. Again, showing, like I was saying earlier, these guys are off-meta players. I would assume, I believe this is the one that gives the informers, right?
Yes, this is the one that gives temporary line of sight.
Yep. Loses Vils. Looks like a Mountain Monastery will go down, but again, I think Sanders, now he's got these trade builders.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, something that I think about it. Both of these civs, unfortunately, are very kind of gold intensive. In Sweden and Ethiopia, they might be bumping into each other. Boy, this is risky from Gindion here. You're basically saying, like, build some Hussar. Oh, but he snipes one. Gets a few Vils. Are these the one that do extra damage to Vils? No. There might be another one.
Looks like they do a 1.25 multiplier, so not a crazy amount.
Okay. Still decent. Desert Warriors now coming in. These things are gnarly. They were nerfed several times to be a little bit more pop, but they are still, yeah, look at that. 1 pop, old Carolean, basically.
Yeah.
Very strong unit, and that will, I think with that, yeah, they're going to push.
Mm-hmm.
Sending the informers' abilities, and now they have to, like, they've got to smell blood in the water, right? Because now they know most of Nick's army, almost his whole army, is up there.
Oh yeah, that's a very timely interaction there. As you know, half the army's out of the area.
Exactly. Gindion now getting all the free techs, or not free. I think they're, or wait, they are free, but they take a while to research at the arsenal for the United States. If you send the, nah, that's not Nox. It's come on, brain. There it is, Springfield Armory.
Springfield Armory, there you go.
And looks like he's going to age
they pull back here.
I think they're afraid of overcommitting, because again, these Caroleans, plus the cannon.
And there's what, maybe 60 Caroleans on the field at this point?
Yeah. That is actually quite the army. It looks like Sanders, though, he doesn't really have the most military out, and again, his FF might have been a bit of a misplay, right? Because look at it, it's just massive units sitting at his doorstep. Gindion aging up with Kentucky, so he's going for the coal mines. Nick building Hussar. Colonel Sanders going for Ieyasu reforms. Doing a bit of a boom. Although I'm not quite sure. Again, hindsight's 2020, and the card should help him scale. And look at that. Yep. Now he's got enough influence. He's able to get a Falconet out.
Nice.
Nick, good job, Nick. I love this. Nick is so good at taking map control and using walls. It's just something that often most of us, especially in the heat of the moment, kind of forget. And, this is a tournament. This is high stakes. So I think Nick is doing everything he's supposed to. Perhaps he just now saw... he probably just... he saw that mine and he was like, bro. But it's used up anyway, so... Now look at here. Let's do a quick Vil check. 30 Vils, 36 for Gindion plus 170 pop, 42 Vils plus whatever natives, right? So he's getting probably just an incredible economy out of that. And Nick with 37 plus full torque population. So look at that. Over macroed for food for certain. Yeah. I would imagine he's going to sell it off soon. Yeah. And age up. Probably with the exile.
Look at that.
Exiled prince, I'd imagine.
Yep, there it is.
Yep. Oh, going for the marksman. I believe that gives them 2 leather cannons. For Sweden, right? Because Sweden doesn't have a skirm.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's when you're behind like that, when you're in this situation where you're an age behind, generally that you do kind of have to make those greedy plays where you have to, like at this point, just the fast age up isn't going to help, so you need to try to get something.
This is
But
true.
it's never a position you want to sit in.
No,
So it's
and Sweden has a pretty good economy. You can afford losses, so I'm sure he's just thinking,
yeah.
all right, look at this livestock value, though. Okay, I don't know enough about Ethiopia, but is he trying to do like maybe an all-in trade or something? Because he's got all these cattle.
The fattened cattle give you more influence, when they're fully fattened, so that's a huge part of it. But you do really want to be trading every time you hit that peak.
Ooh.
So I would have liked to see Sanders selling cattle there.
And Vindian deciding that age 3 is boring and going right to age 4. Good job from Vindian. Again, we saw those cards that he has earlier, so I would assume he's going to be, banking on the Shadow Tech, aka the instant upgrade up to guard status natives that he can utilize. Let's see, what's the first card that he sends? These cost coin, don't they? Yep.
Is Macron for 1,000?
And
Nope.
yep.
Yeah,
Oh, nope. He's going to ship Shogun first.
Shogun first. Okay.
All right. Now, I think Nick is the only one now. Oh, this is now Gideon doing it fast.
Situation now.
Yes.
Covered wagon.
Oh, California.
Oh, it's bottoming time. So, yeah. United States, right? Apparently, California. Make of it of you will, dear viewers, that the devs, when they were making California, thought, let's make them like the Ottomans. For those wondering what I'm referencing, it's this one that gives them all of the free upgrades of villagers, basically, at once. So all the mosque tests for free, but it's only available in age 4. Plus a gold prospector wagon, which turns into a coin mine.
Now, as a California native, I don't know what to make of the fact that they made that, but, they did.
Yeah, they did, right? It's probably left unspoken, but all kidding aside, it's an amazing card, and it looks like, yep, he's also a native friendship, right? So he's able to get.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
A double super, already super upgraded native tribe sent again. So again, the United States and Mexico get basically double super native treaties. And after that, it'll probably be time to go. Now, Vindian did send the outlaw upgrade card, so his Corsair marksmen are fully upgraded, but again, these are not exactly the heaviest units of all time.
Yeah, at this point now that you're getting into age 4, these units are outlaws at this point are on their downslope.
And check it out. What does Nick do? He says, fine, we're playing age 4.
He just goes straight for it.
Right?
And goes for engineer, which is Falx.
And look at that. Sanders also looks like he's close to macroing up. So these guys are like age 3 for
Sanders, kill one of those cows.
Mm-hmm.
Kill one of your cows. Eat them. You are. Yes.
Yes, there he is. Good job,
Eat
Sanders.
those cows. Good job.
Okay, so now this is going to be kind of awkward, though, because they're just a bit off. Those are basic Hussar. Oh, those Vet Hussar are just going to get shredded by these melee goons.
By those camels coming in. Ooh, and out of position there with those leathers.
Yep, I think, Nick definitely needed to kind of back up there, but to his credit, I mean, he's doing as good as one can expect in a 2v1, but look, now the Sohai natives coming in for Vindian. One of his favorite units. Yabusamis, okay, just a few to snipe the cannons that were here, but...
yeah, good move here, and yeah, Nick just needs to get behind the walls at this point. Avoid the wipe, wait for the age 4 to come in for Sanders.
Exactly. Not to mention he'll get the Falconet, that'll get upgraded. He's got enough, he could probably train another Falconet. And they gotta be careful of those Yabusami.
Yeah.
That being said, yep, Yabusami kind of flanking. Not doing super fantastic, all things considered. I think they are going to go down.
We are not getting anything here.
And flag goes down from the United States.
Side, Yeah, flag goes down. On the flip side, that Corollian mass is
Ooh.
melted.
And the heavy cannons, though, they are in. And
Ooh.
I mean, I would imagine that, yeah, these Naginatas are going to get on that cannon.
Pull back, pull back.
Pull back,
Yes,
yep.
pull back. Yeah. Good move.
So high natives. Oh, there's a hole.
Oh no. No.
It's like Age of Empires 2 all over again. But, you know, this cannon will super upgrade. Oh, no, no, don't drag box.
No.
And, yep, now it is age 4. Or it's almost age 4. For everyone. And, you know, I think Nick just lost so much in that fight. That's going to be hard for him to come back. Gindion and Gindion content just to walk back. Why does he have no... No way!
Did he? Oh,
No
he
way.
didn't. He didn't.
And Gindion says, screw playing another 20 minutes. This game is over 47 Ronin. Coming in. Masterless Samurai. These things did get tagged to infantry. Fun fact, when they came out, they had no tags and had no counters. Speed 7. 20 hand attack infantry. With pretty good siege.
Yeah, 41 siege. Oh, the memes.
Now, where did the, okay. Repentant Ninjas, Damios, I thought the Wonders turned into like a special one. I think they turned into Repentant Ronin. Look at these bad boys.
Yeah.
But, this is definitely as all in as it gets. Yeah, Gindion score significantly dropping, reflecting the fact that his entire eco is now...
His entire eco is now samurai.
What,
and he's cheekily building another TC with his explorers right now.
Oh, but I don't... Oh, wait, he still can? Oh, I
He
thought
still
when it was...
can.
Maybe they changed it in the last patch. When it first came out...
I think they changed it, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, but I mean, I kind of missed a little bit of that action here, but there's really not much to say. I think, you know, at this point, these guys got to run back home. But I don't know if they can because they've spent all of their energy killing that. This wall is going to go down, and they're just about to be swarmed by the 47 Ronin. And Nick calling it.
Calling the GG.
And, well, that happened so fast. You know, I didn't see a prompt for it. I apologize if I missed it. Please let us know in the comments if I did. But I didn't see anything on the screen like normally with a revolt, right?
Yeah.
So Gindion deciding that, you know, it's too risky, especially against civs like Ethiopia and Sweden with their Corollians, right? Just saying it's too risky to go in the late game. I'm going to go all in now. And wow, just like that, Gindion and Gindion showing a pretty commanding game there, I think, overall, albeit Sanders and Nick putting up one hell of a fight, especially in the middle game. I just think taking that fight separately perhaps what did him in. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what I really would have liked to see more out of Sanders and Nick here is there were so many skirms that I would have liked to see more, like you were talking about, Huss, or more of their own skirms with the Neftenia and leather cannon aspect, where, like, I think that ultimately, like, with that fight, that was the turning point fight there, where they were all fighting separately, and it was all those Corollians that got kind of caught outside. Like, that's where it turned. Would have liked to see, you know, more Huss getting in there because I didn't have a lot of anti-cap. They only had a few Yabusame. So it would have been a good play to, you know, have some upgraded Huss in there. But Sanders and Nick did a great job here with, like, they were very competitive throughout the entire game, and it was playing whack-a-mole. It was just comes down to, you know, getting caught out there with that mass, I think.
Exactly, you know, and, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, but even if they would have fought together, I mean, just the power of the Neftenia and other units, and if that Corollian mass would have been alive to kind of hold this center part, they very well could have won because, again, behind this, Gindion has nothing. In theory, right? Of course, with these mad geniuses, you know, what's supposed to be the rules of the game, if there's anyone that can find a way around it, it's these two, Gindion and Gindion, right? So I would not be surprised if there's even another layer to this cake, right? that they've figured out, or contingency plan. But I thought that was a really good showing there by both teams, and Gideon and Vidian really showing how they can play completely off meta. United States natives, outlaws from Japan, and really adapt the map, adapt to their opponents, and really showcasing their strengths, I think, as a team and as players. So, looking at the resources here, I mean, yeah, very strongly, not very strongly, but pretty even.
And it does warm my heart to see Gideon using the Cree natives, because I've had this discussion sometimes getting a little heated where I've been taking the position that the Cree sharpshooters are really good, and Gideon's take the opposite position. So it warms my heart to see Gideon using them.
Exactly. And truly, like, United States, I feel like in Ethiopia, are not civs that are like discovered. There's so much potential there. So it's great to see, again, Stander's kind of putting his own spin on the civ, and Gideon really digging deep and trying to figure out how to maximize these kind of underutilized cards. Looking at the Vilgraph, and this is hard too for Ethiopia because the Abens aren't counted. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, good fight here, good fight, and then it's like, yeah, this is basically, I think, when the Corollians get kind of wiped and they're caught out right when he hits H4. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication. Sometimes stuff just happens. You look away for a second and then your mass is being wiped, and it's just like,
yeah, it is heat of battle. But yeah, I think if they had just kept some of that more Corollian mass, like while the Ronin mob coming in is quite intimidating looking, it's even more all in than your typical Euro revolts, because not only have you lost all your eco, you've lost all your buildings, all your wonders. Every bonus is now converted to guys with swords. So if you can hold them off, and with a decent Corollian mass, you could do that, and you whittle them down. So I think if they'd managed to, just keep a little bit more of that mass alive, I think it might have they might have been able to hold this.
Exactly. Why are they so fast? But whatever. It's a
speedy boys.
Revolt. Yep, it's a revolt for the dream. Memes for the dreams. And I think with that, that kind of wraps up here a pretty intense game. So, again, Vidian and Gideon are definitely a pair of guys that are pretty exciting to watch. I'm sure Gideon's going to go in the comments and be like, I told you that it worked for just my computer with the OS. And, again, OS has just been a real thorn throughout not just our series, but every series right now in Age of Empires 3. And I'm hoping that the devs are able to kind of get to the root of it and help figure it out. But these are two players that I really hope everybody enjoyed, and two teams in general. Again, Colonel Sanders and Dick, if you watch this, I don't think anyone watched this game and thought you guys played super poorly. I mean, just little things here and there, and I think it's those tiny things, right, that end up making a huge difference in a game. So you guys should be pretty happy with your performance. So any closing thoughts before I wrap us up, Stefan?
No, I agree with that. Same exact position. Nick and Colonel Sanders here should be pleased with their performance. Like this, they executed it well. They kept it competitive. This was not a one-sided affair. This was competitive. That they were beating back. They were putting pressure. So I think they should be pleased with their performance. And just good job on both teams here.
Exactly. So I think with that, thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, make sure to, like, subscribe, yada, yada. Y'all know the drill. But I think most importantly, just, stay tuned. We've got a few more series here to cast. Like I said, we're trying to get as many of the Swiss stage or lower brackets wrapped up here, because we are officially starting, as of the start of June, the kind of upper brackets into the, the finals. So, and hopefully those series, OOS pending, we'll be able to cast all of them in their entirety. So thank you all for coming, and see you on the next one.